Morning. So we're going to talk about personal responsibility for the second time. Tried this yesterday and the audio went wrong. It failed about 6 minutes in. So I was talking to myself you don't know this because it's live. So I was talking to myself for the other 20 minutes. But strangely enough, there were still people watching the video, which was odd. I don't know if they're lip readers or something, which would be strange. But anyway, so I'm having another go. I've got these microphones and this little lavalier mic. It's lavalier mic. But it's very expensive, quite expensive. It's like high end, and well, I don't know if it's that high end, it's just a good quality. And there's a little button on the little receiver in my pocket that if you tap it, it can mute it, and I think that's what happened. So I must have been here. Anyway, we're going to have another go at personal responsibility. So I've got the little thing underneath now, the receiver. I can see that it's got record on, so hopefully it's got audio. But will you do me a favour, if it's not got audio, just let me know. Or just said like no audio in a comment or something, then you know. Right, okay, so personal responsibility, as I said yesterday, right, whatever your outcomes are, you know, in life, you know, in any situation, you have to take personal responsibility. And I know that's sort of said a lot, take personal responsibility, but if we break it down, all the results that you get, really, they're all the accumulation of all your past actions, right? That's literally it. So everything's sort of, all the results you get are as a result of you, like I said, the accumulation of all your past actions. So similar in how karma works, you get what you put out. So karma's a great way to explain a lot of things. I do a lot of this with me meditation coach. I talk a lot about karma, and I've studied it quite a bit because at first I struggled to sort of understand that if you do something, eventually, you know, the basics of it, if you do something, eventually that will happen to you. It's not really that. It's not, karma doesn't really work like that. It's more like what we said when in the video that I did a couple of days ago on visualization. You know, if you're living a particular life and going in a certain direction, you'll tend to get results in alignment with that. So that's how karma works. And simply put, if you live a life of taking narcotics or, you know, abusing your body or drinking too much, chances are you'll end up with a few problems, you know. And that's, I know it sounds obvious, but karma works like that. It's like if you eat junk food, you're going to put on weight. If you keep treating people like shit, you're eventually going to end up with no friends, or somebody's going to do it to you, you know, because you're kind of in that world, you live in that life. So karma's a really good way of explaining everything, you know, because if you know, something's about personal responsibility, you know, if you're there going, I've no money and all this, you know, I've seen people do this, like play the victim and, you know, complaining about situations, maybe, you know, think they haven't got a good lifestyle or whatever, they've not been on holiday. I know it's easy saying this, but it's, you know, it's literally the result of all their past actions, right? So taking personal responsibility, really, just accepting your role in it, and just accepting that we're kind of, whilst we can't guarantee any kind of success or guarantee any result, we can certainly work towards a result and align our identity towards that result, and our actions, basically, our day-to-day actions. So that's why, if you don't take, well, you have to take personal responsibility, because if you don't, then, you know, what you're going to get, you're just lying to yourself, right? Because the reason why you're there is usually the accumulation of all your past actions. And think about karma, like what I was saying yesterday was, karma works very, very, very well over long periods of time, because it touches on that identity. As in, if you were, you know, if you're, sometimes people tell themselves lies about their identity, like who they are. You know, they might say, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person, I don't do this, I don't behave like that, when secretly they do. Right, it's a bit like the person that, you know, when you ask them, what did you have to eat today? And, oh no, I'm eating really healthily, and this, that and the other. And then when no one's looking, they're having they're dipping their hand in the cookie drawer and everything else. And you know, when you have to do, have you ever had a personal trainer and they ask you to track your diet, and they want you to send them photographs of all your meals, but you don't send them the ice cream or the cake? You know, you're lying to yourself. You're saying, I'm this healthy person, but you're not really. So identity really can be faked, right? And that's another problem, because that's where basically karma answers it, because karma will not let you get away with lying. Basically, you literally get what you put out in this world. Sorry about this, I've just got these like weird notifications coming up on my phone. Right, and yeah, so you get what you put out in this world, and like, that is how karma works over the long run. Now, over shorter periods, it's a little bit different. As I was saying yesterday, you can have these like single events, just like something happens right now, or let's say you get cut up on the road you're driving, or someone smashes into your car or whatever. That happens just right there and then, right? It's not really a karma incident. That's just a one-time incident. And yeah, you can blame someone else in that moment, right, for that particular thing. But is that really affecting your life outcomes? No, your life outcomes tend to be slower. You know, it's continual over time. It's basically, like I said, the accumulation of your past actions, or your habits, your daily habits, tend to result in your life outcomes, right? Just started lashing down, so I'm gonna have to make this short. But yeah, in terms of your life outcomes, that's over the longer period of time. So all these little things that happen in the moment, just there and then, like someone smashing into your car, or having a massive argument with someone, maybe a family member or something like this, it's just there and then. They're just one-time events. You've kind of got to let them go. They don't very rarely affect your life long term. There are situations, you know, like you know, personal relationships with a breakup or something like this. It can happen out of the blue. And like, if you look at the relationship thing, like it's, you know, maybe you want to blame an ex, right, for treating you like shit. That's fine, right? There might have been a one-time incident where you had this massive row, you fell out, and then that's it, you were broke up. And then you spend, you know, the next sort of couple of years maybe laying some blame on that person. Is that right? I don't think so. Usually, relationships like that, where you've got like a meaningful relationship that just ends all of a sudden, if you look back, there's usually a reason why, and chances are you've got a hand in that. So if we think about taking responsibility there, Even if you were being completely hoodwinked, like absolutely, in the dark, completely blindsided, but you were absolutely manipulated and you had no idea, right? Which I don't believe. Usually you have some idea. Love is just blind. You're just ignoring it all, and everyone else can see it and stuff like this. But if you're there, like, if you look back in that relationship, chances are you can trace. It's almost like a fork in the road. You could see the point in which it started to change, and then the next one, right? So, and the reason why personal responsibility is important is because even if you did nothing, you allowed that to happen, and you were there. You're kind of in charge of the direction of your own life. No one can guarantee outcomes, but you can create, as my coach would always say, you can create the conditions for success, right? By doing the right things day to day. And that is, living according to your identity and practicing habits that are in alignment to that identity, working towards your goals every day, right? And if you do that, you won't go wrong. Yes, there are ups and downs in life, right? It's not, the world is a weird place. We've got this, we've got things that we can't understand, like why do people just get sick? Why does this happen? When people reach to religion for answers and things, and why does this happen? Why did that person have to suffer? Like they were a good person. There's things like I said yesterday, like the quantum world. There's things that just happen that we cannot. We just only see a small. Humans. We're just beyond our comprehension to see certain things. So we simplify the world into simple rules and these kind of values and ethics and stuff that get developed by societies, and we have these kind of mathematical models, and it's all simplified. We've almost like digitized it into a few numbers to make it easier. So yeah, this is why when even if you do everything right, every step right in your life, you're still going to end up with the odd bit of misfortune and things like this. Like, it's never going to go 100%. But here's the thing, as how karma works. If you consistently live right, living according to your identity, and you're in charge of all the decisions that you make consistently, you can't control others, you can't guarantee success. But if you just consistently make the right decisions every day, mini decisions, you're creating the conditions for success. Then over the long term, it'll even out and you'll get a result that you want. And this is why you have to take personal responsibility, because no matter what happens, even in that situation where, I don't know, you lost your job or you had a bad breakup or whatever, you had a role to play in that, because that is, you're choosing that as part of your life, even if it's subconscious and you've only just become conscious now after the breakup or whatever, right? It's still your fault. Or your fault. It's everyone's fault, but you had a part to play in it. You've just got to take your own personal responsibility for everything that happens, because your life is the accumulation of all your past actions. And it's as simple as that, Karma's really good. It's like, I was saying yesterday that, with karma, like, let's say someone went around burgling houses or something like this, right? Or whatever, going around stealing watches off people in city centres, you get this. The way that karma works, it's not saying, oh, that person stole that phone, then we're going to do the equivalent to them 5 years down the line. It's simply because they're living that life. Chances are, if they're living that life, they're going to get caught or something's going to happen, you know what I mean? Just by keep behaving in that way. It's not, you know, you can kind of see this. It's not like a mystical force, you know, godlike character keeping tallies on their behaviour and going, right, we're going to punish them for this and that. No, it's just a simple fact. If you live a life where you're going around stealing, chances are you're going to get caught or somebody's going to absolutely punish you or whatever, right? Something's going to happen to you just because you live in that life. So, yeah, you know, in summary, you have to take personal responsibility because really all of your outcomes and all your results are nothing more than the accumulation of all your past actions. So if you don't take responsibility for your life, then, you know, you're not helping yourself. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time. How do I stop this? There we go.